Hey guys, I'm back, and today I'm going to be doing a quick review and demo of a new acquisition here that I've been using for the last couple of months, and that is the SHISEIDO Synchro Skin Liquid Foundation. Come on. There you go. So this is oil-free and has SPF 20 broad spectrum sunscreen, so that's always nice to have, although I always do my own sunscreen thing, as you know. So as far as this foundation goes, my quick little up front, I'll just give you my review right now. My quick review right now is I really like it, and I'll just do a little demo and talk through why I like it in this video, so let's get into it. Now I've already finished my kind of AM skincare. I am going to be doing a whole video on my AM and PM skincare in a couple of weeks here. I've just revamped my whole skincare routine, so I've been really enjoying it lately. And you know, before I give a full review, I'm gonna test it out some more, but I do feel like my skin, at least initially right now, has been more glowy, and the texture has been really nice and smooth, and it just feels moisturized, and yeah, I don't know, I'm liking my skin lately. So anyway, that's that. But as far as this goes, I do have a couple of blemishes, as you can see here. This is actually just discoloration, hyperpigmentation. So that is, you know, sun damage. This is why you need sunscreen, guys. But I do have a couple of blemishes here, and maybe along here, just some redness from previous blemishes. And I do have hormonal acne, so you know, around my period every month I will usually get 1 or 2 spots. But they're generally pretty small, and with my new skincare anyway, I feel like they've been going away much faster. So anyway, back to the actual foundation. So with foundation, honestly, it's only been in the last year that I've started even using foundation with some regularity, and I still don't love to use a ton of it. So actually for this, especially with how my skin is now, I really find I don't need very much at all, and I can just apply it super easily with my fingers. And the thing about this is the first ingredient is dimethicone, which is a silicone, so that, you know, kind of gives you a hint as to why this goes on so smoothly. But the other benefit of this is I don't even need a primer, because primers typically are just silicones. And so with this, just a tiny bit on the back of my hand here. The consistency is, oh, come on. It's liquid, but it's not drippy, runny. So just with that, I'm gonna go in just with my fingers and just tap it on my kind of central area here. I should probably use a mirror instead of using my screen, because my screen has a little bit of delay. Alright, I'm gonna get a mirror. 1 sec. Yeah, so I'm just tapping it on into my center of the face. Because like I said, I don't really have much blemishing here or here, so I just feel like layering on so much foundation is not really my style. So I really love how this can go on and do a really nice job covering any redness, discoloration, without needing to slather it on all over my face. And the reason for that is, especially for those of you with Asian skin that leans yellow undertoned, this is the best color match that I've found in any foundation. Because even foundations that claim they're warm or yellow undertone, they still feel really pink or peachy to me, on my skin. So this, however, just blends in absolutely seamlessly to my complexion. It's super good match, right? So I have the color Golden 3. There you go, Golden 3. And this is, it goes, the thing about this is there isn't a huge shade variety, and you know, it goes really fair, but it doesn't really go much darker than this. So I think there's Golden 4 and 5 as well, but they are not that dark. And even this Golden 3, I'm not super dark skinned, I would say. I'm definitely on the light medium side of things. In most products I am light medium. So the fact that this is a 3, which is higher, I would say, I don't know, just gives you a sense of the color ranges that this has. But again, if you have like particularly yellow undertoned Asian skin, this is a really nice color match. They also come in neutral and pink, or I don't know what they call it, but they do have a neutral undertone and a pink one. I don't recall the name. Okay, so that's kind of the extent of my foundation coverage, and you can see the finish is like satiny up on my forehead where it's naturally just a little bit more oily. You can see it's a little bit more shinier of a finish, but I do, especially recently, I've been liking this more glowy look, dewy look versus a totally matte look. However, I still like to go in just on my T-zone with some powder. So I am, oh actually, you know what? I guess I didn't do this right here. This is what happens when you're filming and you're not paying attention to what you're doing. Yeah, what do you guys think? It's just super natural, right? So I am going to just dust off my T-zone now with some powder and finish off the rest of my makeup, and I'll be right back. And I'll also do some check-ins later today to just show you how this is wearing. And I'm not wearing a primer with this as a reminder because, again, this kind of acts like a primer. The first ingredient is dimethicone, so if you're not a fan of dimethicone, then this is probably not a good foundation for you. But if you don't mind it and you use it as a primer anyway, like, I just think this is an awesome, very easy, fast way to just quickly do your makeup without fussing around with all the other types of products you can layer onto your face. Alright guys, I'm back, and now I've done my whole face with makeup, and as you can see, it is super, super natural makeup today. All I have on is my Synchro skin, and I do a light dusting of powder in my T-zone, translucent powder. Then I put on some blusher, some bronzer, contoured my nose, obviously, and did my eyebrows, and then, yeah, just put on some mascara, and that's it. Oh, and yes, I did a Your Lips But Better kind of lipstick today. So I'll put everything I use down below, but this is my makeup, as you can see, super natural. And again, I just love this foundation to create this look because I just don't need very much of it, and yet it looks super seamless into my skin, and it doesn't really look like I'm wearing foundation at all. So that is exactly the look I'm going for, and yeah, it looks, I think, really good. So I'll check back in with you guys in a little bit and show you how it's wearing throughout the day. So see you in a sec. Okay guys, I'm back for a quick little check-in. I apologize for my hair, it's just been a total mess today. I've not done anything with it, but anyway, it's been about 6-7 hours since I applied the foundation, and you can see it still looks really fresh. I mean, perhaps too fresh because I do have some oil coming through, but for the fact that I've not done any kind of blotting or touch-ups at all, like this amount of oil I think actually looks really nice. It looks like I'm just fresh and dewy. Yeah, and you know, usually the problem areas are just around the nose and on the forehead, in my T-zone basically, where I'm oily, where foundations will start to break apart, and they do that and they start kind of like gathering into crevices. And those of you who have oily skin, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about, but you can see that this one does not do that, so I'm just gonna bring you in here. So yeah, right around the nose, on my forehead, there's no kind of collection of foundation because it's breaking apart and, you know, balling together at all. There is some redness here because I've been scratching the corner of my nose. It's just been really itchy, and even still, like even with my physically kind of interfering with the foundation, it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look like I scratched off a piece of foundation, if you guys know what I'm talking about. So everything still looks really natural, fresh. My lipstick perhaps not. So that has worn off while my foundation is still looking pretty good. I will say, if you have dry skin, you know, you might have trouble with this foundation because it is a bit mattifying, and it does kind of like gather onto flakes of skin. So I do have some dryness around my mouth just from my skincare. I do use a retinoid, and so this morning I didn't do the best job with exfoliating or moisturizing that. And so that is now kind of the result where the foundation clings to it a bit. So that is something that you might want to consider if you do have a drier skin type. But for those of us with normal, oily, or combo skin, I think this is an excellent, excellent foundation. Oh, and the key thing also is, particularly for those of us who have slight signs of aging with fine lines and wrinkles, like this does not collect in that at all. It's still just a nice big silicone sheet kind of laying on top of that, even without a primer. So again, I don't have any primer on, but you can see there's no gathering in my admittedly very fine lines around my eyes, and I have like very, very fine lines on my forehead, but you can't tell, it just looks good, fresh. So I think this is, again, super, super, super performing foundation, and I will be back to do another check-in kind of later this evening after dinner and such, and just show you, you know, a full day of wear, how it holds up, but so far so good. Alright guys, I'm back for my final check-in. It has now been over 12 hours since I initially applied this foundation, and I've done no touch-ups, no blotting, no powder, nothing. This is a totally unadulterated kind of wear test with this foundation, and as you can see, it looks still really good. So, you know, just gonna do a little close-up here. It definitely has worn away pretty much all on my nose and around my nose, and you can see, you know, this is totally no more coverage there, but my sunspot is still being covered nicely, and even in the areas where it has worn away, it doesn't look like I have just melting foundation on my face. It still looks really natural, and it just, you know, looks like I have more redness there now. So that is great, because I hate it when you can see kind of the streakiness of the foundation as it's wearing and breaking down. So that is a huge pro for this foundation. I will say though, you can see here slightly the foundation is kind of clinging to a dry spot. So that is, again, the one thing about this foundation. If you have flaky or prone to flaking dry skin, this is probably a pass, but I am super impressed. So let's just again look at my pores. They look great still. I mean, you can definitely see them, but they don't look like walloping pores in your face, so that's nice. And like I said, it's not wearing off in a streaky, patchy way, so that is huge. I just really love this foundation. I think it performs beautifully, and especially you can imagine if I did blot or, you know, do some touch-ups throughout the day, this could totally look excellent, and it does not settle into fine lines and wrinkles like I said earlier, and it still hasn't right now. So overall, just have been very impressed with using this over the last couple of months, and I highly recommend it. And yeah, that's it for my video. So if you guys have any questions, you know, leave them down below. I love reading your comments, and if you're new here, I do hope you will subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. All right, bye.
Spent a week in a dusty library, waiting for some words to jump in me.